Good morning. Today, Bourbon and White is at the headquarters of Custom Design Cakes, and I'm here with Kurt Chef, one of New Orleans' premier pastry chef. Chef Kurt, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for coming.
Wonderful, wonderful. Assisting Kurt would be his lovely wife, his mother, and his daughter. Kurt, I also understand that you are the owner of Custom Design Cakes. Well, how long have you been doing this?
Well, my wife and I were both the co-owners of Custom Design Cakes, and the business has been in existence for a little bit over 20 years.
Okay, wow, that's a long time. Now, when it comes to baking a bourbon cake, because I'm pretty sure that's what we're working with today, what's all involved and where do one start?
Well, with Custom Design Cakes, we start off with what's called a SOP. It's a standardized operation procedure, and that's when we go back and forth to the drawing board and put together a recipe that fits our criteria. And we stick with that recipe and we archive that recipe, and that is the recipe that we use every time we bake a cake for a client. Because if you were to order Chantilly cream cake in January and then want another one in February, you would want that same cake that drew you to us, and it would be up to us to put together the same recipe that you fell in love with so that you can have it consistently. So it's all about consistency, and also we try to keep our, we keep our ingredients at room temperature because that aids in the coagulation and the baking process to give you, the customer the best product possible.
Wow, you put a whole lot into it. Now I know why it's so good. You know, I must say this, Amanda Bourbon made the statement that when it comes to culinary art, Custom Design Cake lifts the bar. And she's right about that. Hey, I've tasted your cakes. I know they're good.
Thank you.
You know, for the viewers that's watching, when it comes to timing, because when you do bake this bourbon cake, that bourbon will change the timing on it. You get a box cake out of the store, it says 28, 24 minutes. How much time do it take for this cake here?
For this particular Kentucky bourbon butter cake, it will take approximately an hour and 45 minutes. And that is because not only do we put bourbon in the batter before we bake it, but we infuse the bottom of the cake with bourbon, and we have a pecan glaze, and that also has bourbon in it as well, and we drizzle that on top. So the preparation and the baking process, the cooling process, and the making of the glaze, approximately an hour and 45 minutes, and then your cake is done.
Oh man, I know them. Oh, that sounds good. Now, let me ask you this. Right here, we have some bourbon. Now, here we have the finest bourbon that the distillery can make, except for this, which would be a whiskey bourbon. But your choice of bourbon is which one?
The Maker's Mark.
Now, why is that so important to your cake?
Maker's Mark, it holds its body and it holds the quality and flavor during the baking process, and that's really important.
Oh, good. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm partial to that one because you know we do a lot of shots with the Jack Daniel, and this is my dad's favorite. So if I was to bake a cake, or better yet, get you to bake the cake for me, and I wanted Jack Daniel, I would have that old granddad, sorry Jack, old granddad, I would have that old granddad taste, and the difference with the barley and wheat is different from this one.
Yes.
Pretty much the sweetness of it.
Right. The Maker's Mark has a predominant mash of red winter wheat and corn, and during the distilling process, it leans a little bit more towards the sweet side, and it complements cakes a little bit better. Now, you can do it with Old Granddad, but just expect to have the strong bitterness of Old Granddad because of the rye that's in the mesh.
Okay.
So it's not to say that it won't come out good, but just expect a different taste.
Gotcha. You know, when I was in Kentucky, I went to Evan Williams Distillery, and there they taught us how to drink bourbon. You sniff, get your smell together, then you take a swig, but you swish it. You let it enjoy the palate, the tongue. Let it rejoice because you just don't want to gulp it. You know, most people do. That way you can taste exactly the ingredients in the bourbon.
Right.
Now, I'm pretty sure that goes with the rest of these. My thing is this though. I prefer a match made in heaven, Jack Daniel and Coke. Of course, we're not talking about that, but I must say, this here, when any kind of cake a person wanted and they want to get any of these ingredients or liquor in their cake, they will call you, right?
Exactly, yeah. You can call me. The number's 905-CAKE, area code 504. The phone number is right at the bottom of the screen, or you can reach me by email at 905cake@gmail.com. And also the website is 905cake.com.
Wonderful. Now let me ask you something, because I must ask this question. Do you do anything else besides mouth-watering cakes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, besides the mouth-watering cakes, besides the wedding cakes we do, and the chantilly cakes, German chocolate and rum cakes, and bourbon cakes we do, we also we cater as well. We provide hot foods and cold foods for events, whether it be a Mardi Gras ball, a Super Bowl party, or hopefully we'll go to the Super Bowl next season, or just a football party on a Sunday. Wedding showers, baby showers, repasses. No job is too big or too small. We provide chicken wings, finger sandwiches.
Okay.
If you want charbroiled oysters, we pull out the grill and do charbroiled oysters. We just had a event at a church where they needed barbecue chicken and hamburgers, and we have a large grill and we supply the food as well. The motto at our company is that we make it happen. So if you need something done and you need it done, as far as the food portion is concerned of your event, if you put it in our hands, that's one less thing that you have to worry about as far as making your event a success. Because
Okay.
once you hire us, then it's hands-on and we'll take it from there. And we have a long line of satisfied customers. As a matter of fact, when we do a event, people are asking for our numbers, asking for our cards, and they call us up. And I think sometimes people throw a party just so we could have, so they can have our food there. You know.
I understand that. Well, there it is, folks. You can have any one of these bourbons you choose in your cake. Just call Kurt Chef. He's willing to do it for you. And for out-of-towners, when you get to New Orleans, definitely look up Chef Kurt. Because if you don't see your taste of bourbon here, whatever bourbon you can think of, he can put it to work. So, once again, here we are at the headquarters of Custom Design Cakes. You want one, you have to have one. Believe me, they are outstanding. Bourbon and white backs them. Enjoy.